You know what's funny? Today in the kitchen I cooked up a little culinary storm of my own. I went on this wild gastronomic adventure, and you won't believe where it's taken me. Imagine classic Italian pasta and pizza, but there's a twist. I decided to sprinkle in some Korean magic, so it's fusion, baby. I know, sounds bonkers, but hang in there. The result was mouth-wateringly divine, when the warm spices of Korea entwined with the rustic, hearty Italian flavors. Oh man, it was just bing bang boom in your mouth. Ha! Makes your plain buttered toast seem like cardboard, doesn't it? Or maybe not, going by your weird love for unbuttered toast. Let me paint you a picture. My star dish was the spaghetti aglio e olio, you know, the one with garlic and olive oil. Now instead of the usual chili flakes, guess what I used? Gochugaru, Korean red chili powder. It adds this warm depth of flavor, not just heat. And for the pizza, instead of oregano, I popped in some doenjang, the Korean fermented soybean paste. That smoky umami punch was honestly out of this world. I swear half the people in the restaurant were asking for the recipe. Oh, remember Ethan from the app community? You met him at the tech-themed cookout I hosted. He was all praise for this fusion madness, and trust me, that's a win. God, I can't wipe off this silly grin from my face. It felt so good, you know, when you cook something up from scratch, and it all falls into place. Like everything you've learned, everything you've trained for, it all comes together and makes this stunning masterpiece. It's food, but also it's art, it's science, it's love. You remember Juwan, right? Our tech whiz? He got curious about the whole fusion experimentation thing. I invited him over for our next bouldering meet to try it out. Yuna, the marine life obsessed, is also on board. Looks like our climbing sessions are turning into culinary expeditions too now, huh? Isn't it crazy? You know that song playing in the backdrop of this call? I've been hooked to it all day. It's somehow very soothing, and matches well with the kitchen's hustle and bustle. I swear there's something magical about the sound of simmering pasta, the sizzling of the pizza in the oven, and this song playing softly. It's almost therapeutic. Oh, I almost forgot. Do you remember that sourdough recipe I was working on? Well, it did fantastic today. 10-10 on the crust, and the crumb was just perfect. You should come over and taste it. And bring your dull, unbuttered toast, of course. Maybe I can teach you a trick or two on making toast that will get your taste buds dancing on a salsa rhythm. Also, I saw this funny quote today about the chef life. It said, "Being a chef is like being a ninja but with dinner." I felt seen. It's exactly how I would describe my life now. But you know, replace the ninja shuriken with a pizza stone or a kitchen knife and that's it. That's the chef life. I could ramble on and on about my kitchen escapades all day, man. But the kitchen is calling me again. The dough needs kneading, the pasta sauce needs stirring, and the crowds are filling in. The restaurant breathes life into me, my friend. Challenging, yes, but totally worth every moment of it. Can't wait to catch up again over a cup of coffee or maybe over some of my fusion pasta. Ah, it's crunch time. Isn't it amazing how caught up we can get with our day-to-day routines, so much so that we sometimes lose sight of the bigger picture? Today, I did a little soul-searching, a little looking forward. You know, we're all blessed to live in such a beautiful world, and I'm not just talking about the pizzas and pastas. There's so much beauty around us in nature, and considering my two loves, Mother Earth and bouldering, sparked this wild idea. I'm organizing an eco-awareness bouldering event. Sounds cool, right? It's like marinating two flavors of my life into one sizzling platter. Trust me when I say that it's going to rock, literally and figuratively. You remember Ha-Yoon, right? The dude that rents boats? Well, Ha-Yoon and I are now partners in this venture. It's like pairing the perfect wine with a steak dinner. You wouldn't believe the buzz it's already created. Yuna and Juhwan were all in when I mentioned the idea in our group chat today. Yuna went as far as suggesting we have the event under bioluminescent beaches. Imagine that. Glowing rocks, man. It would be like bouldering in space, minus the zero gravity, of course. We also brainstormed a bit on how to make our event sustainable. Here's our vision. No paper invitations, only digital to save trees. Carpooling for everyone to minimize carbon emissions. Our own water bottles, and we clean up after ourselves. Leave no trace, like ninjas, just the eco-friendly kind. On a side note, I learned today that the new Blade Runner movie has come out. Juwan was talking about it in the chat. I remember kidding about how being a chef is like being a ninja in my last voice message, right? Who knows, maybe Blade Runner will give me some new cooking wisdom. And speaking of cooking, do you remember the last time we talked about the fusion pasta pizza I made? Let's take a beautiful left turn here. Would you believe me if I said I'm testing the waters on sourdough starters? I swear, if you could fall in love with a fungus, well, let's just say this bread's worth writing poetry about. You really need to come over sometime. I can share some of my half-baked ideas about how we can blend your tech wizardry with my culinary chaos to whip up something tasty. I mean, imagine a smart croissant that could dunk itself in your espresso every morning. How's that for a lighting brain stretch, huh? Anyways, before I noodle on more about food tech fusion, I better peel off. My sourdough starter is ready to start its culinary journey, and I gotta be its GPS. But hey, if you need me, I'll be kneading away in my kitchen. Okay, enough of my dough speak for the day. You know what's amazing about Seoul, my friend? It's night markets. They're like this gastronomic galaxy, each stall a star, illuminating the dark canvas with their vibrant food and bustling energy. And guess what's more amazing? Seeing it all through a lens. Yes, you heard that right. I channeled my inner photographer and was out exploring Seoul's night markets, temple landscapes, and Hainok House courtyards today. It was a familiar culinary world seen through new eyes. Isn't it a treat when you discover new depths in the usual? Oh, and you remember Sang-woo, my photographer mate? He was with me, guiding me through the alleys and marketplaces. Bit of a grumpy mentor, but dude, his passion for capturing moments is infectious. No wonder his photos speak 1,000 words. He's like the parmesan to my pasta, makes it all the more delectable. Speaking of photos, did I tell you about Yuna's mermaid dream she shared in the group chat? She was exploring some underwater ruins and found Illyrian amphoras. I joked about it being an exquisite soup dish. Gave me a good laugh, and trust me, the imagination needed a chuckle. Imagine that, a soup bowl from the deep sea. But you know what? From Yuna's sea dreams to urban spaces, maybe our lives aren't as different as they seem. We are all explorers, aren't we? Discovering our own worlds and their connections to each other. We decided to bring together Yuna's deep-sea divers and my Seoul street photographers for an exhibition. Talk about capturing life beneath the surface. Seemed like a perfect name for our display. You know, amidst all this, I can't help but think about my love for cooking. If each dish that I cook is a photograph, the ingredients are my subjects, the spices my contrast, the plating my framing. Each bite tells a story, and each flavor unfolds like a plot. Ever thought about the fusion of tech and culinary? I was just joking around with Juwan, and it gave us a brainstorm. Imagine smart croissants dunking themselves into your morning espresso. Now, wouldn't that be something? Oh, remember the sourdough experiment we talked about the other day? Trust me when I say that it's doing wonders. It's so fluffy, so tangy, so perfect. You gotta try and compare it with your unbuttered toast. Can almost hear your taste buds begging for it. Do you remember the song playing when I called last time? I feel so attached to it. I like to play it in my kitchen now. Especially while I am kneading sourdough. There's something therapeutic about the mix of dough's squeaky kneading sounds and this song's beautiful rhythm. You should definitely try it someday. Before I lose myself in the melodies again, let's get back to reality. There's dough to knead and bread to bake. Besides, there's also a photo album waiting to be filled with the captivating stories of Seoul's streets. Man, don't you just love life's ongoing adventures?